Hi there, this is an introduction video to the Grand European Tour project that you are going to spend around about 2 lessons completing. Your challenge is to plan a virtual tour around Europe. Your tour must visit as many European capital cities as possible. And we are giving you a budget of £3,000, but you have to follow 4 rules. Here are the rules. Rule number 1. All the distances you use must be in kilometers, and each kilometer that you travel will cost you £1.50. So, for example, if you wanted to travel from London to Brussels, that's 320 kilometers and therefore would cost you £480 because it's 320 times 1.5. Rule 2. You can pick any European capital city to start in, but you must end your journey in the same city. So if you start in Paris, you can go around lots of other capital cities, but you must end your journey in Paris too. And except for returning to your start point, you cannot visit the same city twice. Rule number 4, you're traveling direct between cities as if you were flying. So no need to follow roads or anything like that. So your actual task is to create a presentation about your grand tour. There is a checklist on the next slide that I'll show you in just a second that you can use to record your progress. In a moment, I'll also show you a step-by-step guide on the next slides to help you. So here's your checklist. I'm going to tell you that levels 3 and 4 are basically the minimum that you need to do for this task. All the rest of it are extra little bits that I'm hoping that most of us will get onto and complete. So I'm just going to read through some of the things that you need to do. Number 1, come up with a route that you think is best. Number 2, include a map of Europe with capital cities in your presentation. Calculate the number of cities that you manage to visit and show that route clearly on a map. And it'd be great if you can calculate the total distance of your route and calculate the total cost of your route. Remember, you want to go to as many capital cities as possible. You've got £3,000 to do it, but each kilometre costs you £1.50. So here's a step-by-step guide. Step 1, create a new blank presentation. Step 2, use the internet to find a map of Europe and copy and paste this into your presentation. Step 3, decide where you're going to start your European Grand Tour. Remember, this can be any capital city, but think about which would be sensible for this challenge. Step 4, pick a route around nearby capital cities. Remember, you must return to your starting point. Step 5, you can use this website. It's called distancefrom2.net. It will show you the distances between capital cities. Step 5, create some sort of table to show where you've gone from, where you're going to, the distances you've traveled, and eventually you'll be able to calculate the total cost of your journey too. Step 7, well, that's the main bit. Is that route that you've just picked out the best route? If it isn't, rethink it. Create a new slide and start your tour again and say, well, that wasn't the best journey I could have taken. I'm going to try again. I'm going to show you another thing that I've attached to the Teams assignment, and that is this. I've given you this template. Now, in that template, we've got the checklist that you can go off and change to your heart's content. In fact, I have done this bit for you because I've included a map of Europe with the capital cities on there already. You can change that, use whichever one you want. Obviously, change the typeface to make it look as if it's your own. So go get creative and make this presentation your own. Starting capital city, let's say that I wanted to start in London. I could then maybe insert some images of London. So I'm going to go to pictures, online pictures, search for London there. Oh, there's some great images there. That one there looks good. That one there looks good. That one there looks good. I can insert all three of those images there and it will add them to that slide. And on the right hand side, it will come up with some design ideas. So pick any one that you quite like the look of. I quite like this one. So that looks good to me. So all of a sudden, your presentation's starting to look really, really professional. The next thing is for you to, well, figure out where you want to go next. So let's say that you wanted to go to Paris next. Again, you can add in some images. But this is the bit that is really important. This table here that I've laid out for you. Your first journey is to go from London to Paris. You can then use this website to calculate those distances. So let's say that I'm going from London to Paris, measure the distance, and that will show you that London to Paris is 342 kilometers. So back to here, I can add that number back to my table, 342 kilometers. And how do I then figure out how much money I've already spent? Well, I can go to my calculator and I can say, well, it's 342 times 1.5 because it's £1.50 per kilometre. And that gives me £513. Already spent quite a lot of money. Do that for the next journey and obviously just keep updating this table. Remember, you can duplicate the slide and have that go over here so you can just go from Paris to Brussels or similar. Calculate the distance and obviously the money spent too. Later on, you need to show the route on a map. Obviously, you can do that as you go in as well. And calculate the total distance and cost of the trip. And there's plenty of other things for you to do in here.